doing it as big boy. Well, I'm on a hot streak in this summer. There used to be a newspaper called the Sporting News. It was printed in St. Louis, and all it was a baseball newspaper. It came out once a week. It was a weekly deal. They covered every minor league. They covered this college league that I played in. They covered major league. They covered everything. So there's an article in there about how well I'm hitting. I'm hitting like 360. The ball looked that big. It was just easy. You know, it's one of those. It's one of those up times we were talking about where you don't really know why it's going on, but it is going on.
You're in your game.
So you just ride it as long as it lasts, because it won't last forever. So this guy, we had, I was a freshman at Missouri, and Missouri had about 6 players scattered around the league. And there were like, I think six, maybe 8 teams, 6 teams in that league. And in those days, South Dakota was, I'm telling you what, there's nobody in South Dakota. We used to travel at night on 2-lane highways doing 80 miles an hour, hitting half a dozen pheasants a night.
Wow.
That many of them. And
there really was no one.
Oh, no, that's literally.
Empty road.
I mean, Sturgis
Yeah.
was 2,500 people.
Yeah.
From a suburb of St. Louis to 2,500 people.
Nothing.
I mean, nothing. You could go bowling down the main street at night and not hit anything. So I'm hitting, and there'd been an article about this, how well I was hitting, and the guy's pitching on the other team from Pierre, South Dakota, named Larry Bohannon, and Larry was from University of Missouri. Well, I'd seen him pitch that spring, and he had a really good curveball, and he'd get 2 strikes on guys, throw that curve, and they'd be gone. So I'm thinking, okay, he's gotten 2 strikes, and he's going to throw that curve, and I'm going to lean out, and I'm going to hit it to right field for base hit. So he winds up and starts to throw, and I'm leaning out, and he threw it right there.
Hit you in the cheek?
Missed me by that much.
Wow.
Went by, it sounded like a jet plane going by. I could feel the air. It was that close.
Wow.
I hit the ground. My shirt's undone. My helmet's gone. My bat's gone. He could have thrown the next one behind me. I'm swinging it, and I'm getting the fuck out of there. And I'm 19, freshman, and I go up to him after the game. And I say, "Hey, Larry," I said, "you know, we're both from Missouri. I hope to be playing next year. Blah 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 blah. What's the deal?" He said, "I've been reading about you in the Sporting News." He said, "and I'm here to tell you," as he poked me in the chest, "that you ain't getting the 2-strike base hit off of my ass all fucking summer. You got it."
He said that?
That's exactly what he said.
So how did you respond?
Yes, sir. I got it.
Oh,
Scared the fuck out of
You
me.
yielded.
I didn't know what to do. I'm 1 year out of high school. They didn't play that way in high school. Okay? Well, all of my life in watching baseball, playing, you send messages to guys.
Yeah.
Don Drysdale had a saying, and he told everybody. He said, "You throw it 1 of my guys, I'm throwing it 2 of yours. You throw it 2 of my guys, I'm throwing it 4 of yours.
Right.
You'll get tired of this before I do."
Yeah.
Okay? Nobody ever rushed them out in those days. But your pitcher took care of you if you got knocked out. He knocked down or he drilled somebody else. When you got drilled, you dropped the bat and went to first base. You tried not to rub it so that the guy didn't think he did any damage. And that's the way we played. Now they've got umpires that warn benches when the balls are inside, whatever. So nobody knows how to throw inside anymore. And nobody that's hitting expects to get inside. They're all dig in. You didn't dig in. Willie Mays, first time he went to bat in Major Leagues against Don Drysdale,
Mm-hmm.
he got up to the plate, dug in, got his foot all in there, got set and looked out, saw Drysdale glaring down at him. He stepped out and he put all the dirt back in the hole. Like, I'm not digging in, I'm going to be live on my feet. Because I know I'm going down. You went down. If I got hit, you're going to get hit, and we all go on about our business and play. Now,
So it's like an unspoken gentleman agreement kind of a thing.
That's-
What would you call that? Just a knowingness of how
it's just the way you play. It's the same thing in business.
Right, but you're saying it's different now.
It is different now because the umpires, if a pitcher throws to somebody and knocks them down, The umpires immediately go out and warn that pitcher, warn the bench. The next guy that gets thrown at, no matter who does it, is out of the game.
So was it too much government, too much umpiring?
Exactly. It's too much outside interference.
From the umpires, from
Let
the
'em-
rules,
let
from
'em-
everything.
Let them fucking play. Now, the Padres Rockies fight that happened the other day,
Yeah.
on the night before, the center fielder got drilled in the ribs. And you can tell, you used to be able to tell when the pitchers knew what they were doing. A pitch that was meant to hit you and one that was just like a calling card. The calling cards were up and in front of you.
Right.
You could, and your first move was backwards. Anytime they throw it, first thing you do is step back.
Yeah. You could respond.
If I want to hit you, you
You aim behind me a little bit
exactly.
because you know I'm going to move into it.
That's 100%.
Right.
And a ball that's thrown back here is an automatic. I'm out to get you. You don't throw it to their head, but you throw it slightly behind them. They step right into it. They can't get out of the way. They're hit. Now, a major league pitcher, if I hold my hand up, can hit it 9 times out of 10. Their control's that good. So a ball behind a hitter is like putting a calling card out saying, you had this coming. Or I've been on teams where a guy got knocked down and he came into the starting pitcher after getting knocked down or hit, saying, here's your choice. You can hit one of them or you can fight me. What do you want to do? I'm not going to be hit for nothing. That's why we played. Everybody knew it. This whole generation now doesn't know it. So the Padres get the guy hit the night before. Then in that game, Renfroe got hit on the left wrist. But the ball's in front of him.
Mm-hmm.
It's not back here.
Mm-hmm.
So that ball up here can easily get away, or Renfroe can dive into it. In other words, he never thinks anybody's going to throw at him, so he's constantly moving toward the outside part of the plate to cover. Well, he got hit. The other guy, Margot got hit, and I'm guaranteeing you the manager or one of the other players said, hey, enough of this shit. Well, their best player on the Rockies team is Arenado, the third baseman. The ball hit him right back here. There was no question it was coming. In the old days, you dropped your bat, went to first because everybody stopped. I got one, you got one, let's go on and play now. They don't do that anymore. Nobody, in my day, nobody ever rushed them out. Never happened. Never happened.
Do you think that people see the strategy in being first to rush the mound now, and that it wins you social points or something?
I'll be honest.
Is there a strategy to it, or do you think it's just purely sloppy impulses of undisciplined and out of control people?
No, I think it's a case of a guy saying, go up through baseball ranks, through minor leagues and whatever. They were being thrown at. Now, the guy that threw at me in 1962, we had a reunion in 2008 at Columbia, Missouri. The guy's name is Larry Bohannon, lives in Lebanon, Ohio right now. Came to the reunion, and I relayed that story to him. I said, do you remember this? He said, no, I don't. But 45 years later, you know what he said? But if you were hitting 212, I wouldn't have fucking wasted my time.
Really?
45 years later.
He knew that. That was the governing principle.
Absolutely. He said, if you were hitting 212, I wouldn't have fucking wasted my time.
You're doing good.
45 years later.
That's awesome.
Just,
That's
you
good,
know,
Mike.
those are stories that are worth telling and worth having lived them.
Yeah.
And these guys don't.
You're teaching me something though about how to treat a contested environment. You know what I'm saying? How to deal with another man.
As my wife said,
when there's tension.
I tell my wife, I said, there's very few people in our society, in business or otherwise, has ever had a high inside fastball thrown at them.
Yeah.
And therefore, they don't know how to behave or react. You take it, you brush yourself off, you get up, and you go right back in the game. You don't let somebody intimidate you and run you off the corner. But these guys nowadays, I watch this.
Do you feel like people are trying to Do you feel like in today's world, though, it's more about trying to shoot you like with a mortal shot or a fatal blow
I
right
don't.
away, kind
No,
of
I
thing?
don't. I
Or-
think I believe you and I were just talking a little while ago. Mankind is what it is,
Mhm.
and is consistent. That's why dogs snarl and show their teeth, so they don't have to fight. Fighting is the last thing an animal wants to do because it's going to get hurt.
Mhm.
And if it gets hurt, it doesn't have a veterinarian or anybody to get them well. And then they can't hunt, they can't eat, they might get an infection. There's a lot of bad things happen when animals fight. But the posturing, cat arching its back and standing its hair up and
Yeah, yeah,
fluffing its
yeah,
tail up,
yeah.
that's all about don't fuck with me.
Right,
I may not win, but it won't be very good for you if you do.
right.
Man's the same way. I mean, I just think it's animal kind in general.
Somebody told me that you never go into a fight having something you can lose. Always fight if there's something to gain, but if you have something that you can lose, don't go to the fight. What do you think of that advice?
I think you don't have a choice.
Sometimes, yeah.
Well, you measure what you're fighting about,
Mm-hmm.
and if it's nothing else, is it to gain respect to the guy I'm arguing with?
Mm.
You can't be afraid. You can't be afraid to lose.
Right.
You can be afraid to walk away. That is probably the worst thing you can do.
Walk away. Yeah.
We had at Colby Banker, we had 40 guys in there selling real estate, commercial real estate. It was inevitable that you'd cross paths with somebody on a deal.
Sure.
And then it came down to, okay, if I make this deal, do you get part of the commission or what happens?
So you get a referee or an arbitrator who
No.
who forces no.
We didn't do that. We had the room was a big open room with cubicles. Everybody had a cubicle. You know what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
Like a wall about yay high,
Mm-hmm.
and your desk was in there, and your file cabinets and all that stuff. On the perimeter of the office were rooms, little set-aside offices that you could get, 4 guys in maximum. So we would go in, room, the 2 guys in the dispute, and hash it out. And I would give you my position, and you give me your position of why you think you should have something, or why I should have something. And I never will forget. I had a dispute with a guy named Ron Elkin over a $10,000 commission, and I felt he was sort of weaseling in the deal. Really didn't have a spot. But we go in one of those offices and we hashed it out and we argued it out and we went at it tooth and nail. And as long as you don't get personal, you don't say your mother's a cunt or you're a son of a bitch or you're a fag or whatever.
Whatever. Yeah.
As long as you stay out of that and stay on the realm of the subject, you can go at it pretty hard.
Yeah.
A lot of guys don't understand not getting personal. Once it gets personal, it all falls apart.
Right.
Well, he and I got at it pretty hot, and I got to thinking, I said, this is $10,000, which is a lot of money. But I said, is his friendship to me worth more than the 10 grand? Because I could win the 10 grand argument, I'm pretty sure, by going to management and getting him booted out. But I'd probably lose a friend over that. So I opted to get him the 10 grand and walk out of the room with a smile on our face. Full well knowing, well, he ended up being the best man at my wedding.
Hmm.
But
Hmm.
the 10 grand was not worth as much as his friendship was.
It's interesting. There's a bonding. When you fight someone, it's a passionate thing. And when you're fighting, usually you end up with friends a lot of the times
Well,
afterwards.
you
It's
can't-
kind of intimate. It's intimate.
Well,
Fighting is like sex almost.
you-
It's a personal,
Well,
intimate
but-
thing that goes on,
But,
you know?
but what is the end result of it, Jonathan?
Well, victory. One person wins
No,
and one loses.
no.
Of fighting?
It's respect.
Oh, respect.
If you fight a fair fight and a good fight, You may not win the fight,
But you get respect.
but you get respect from the other guy. And without respect, you ain't got shit.
Yeah.
I don't care what you are or who you are. And that's where Trump, I don't give a fuck whether you like him or not. But goddamn, it's hard not to respect the job he's done since he's been in there.
Yeah, I agree.
Very difficult to not respect him.
Yeah.
And it's very difficult from these other foreign leaders to not respect him because he's not like anybody they've ever dealt with. He says something, he means it, he goes and backs it up.
Yeah.
He doesn't say the red line in the sand like Obama did and then walk away.
Walk away, yeah.
And you do that once,
No one takes it
then
seriously.
everybody and their brother will poke you to death because they know you won't fight.
What do you do if you're in a fight with someone, a fair, good fight, you're not getting personal, and some other force forces you to walk away? It ends the fight. You know, the
Such
ref.
as,
Like, imagine a ref comes in and interrupts it, or you're arguing with a guy and his wife says, "Hey, you guys got to stop arguing." You know.
it's none of her business.
Well, I know, but what if it happens anyway? It's
Well,
bad.
that's because you let it happen. And as a result, because she's running his life, you lose respect for him.
And would he lose respect for you, feeling like he won the argument because it got shut
No.
down early?
Not any sane, reasonable guy would. No, I don't believe that for a minute.
All right.
I don't believe that for a minute. But I think, you know, it's and I watch these baseball players and they just don't understand how to play anymore because nobody teaches them. The fight.
What about older men? Do you feel like older men, you know, 60, 70 years old, are they, when you're that old, do you feel like you no longer have anything to lose, so fighting means something differently than it
No.
does to a younger person? Or
Not to me.
What
I can't speak for younger people. I don't know.
What does it mean for you? Like, what would make you not want to get in a fight with someone, and what would make you want to get in a fight with someone?
Well, I prefer not to get in a fight to keep from getting my ass beat because I'm 75 years old.
Right.
But if I had to, I would.
What if it was a lawsuit fight or some other fight where you weren't physically harmable?
Then
You like you're
did
you're
you,
just
did you earn the lawsuit or not?
Hmm.
Did you do something to warrant the lawsuit?
Do you feel like older people don't care if they warrant it, or versus younger people, or do you feel like younger people are going to skate on their responsibilities more?
I don't know because they don't know any young people.
Yeah, I don't either.
No, I'm
I
serious. I don't know.
I really don't, man. I hang out with
I
older
hear
people.
stories about them.
My best worker is 75 years old. His name's
Yeah,
Kent.
I hear stories about them and their attitude on things, but I personally don't know any of them. Only know what I hear.
Yeah. No.
But it, you know, I think life is just really simply about respect.
It is.
And you look at the people in Congress.
Yeah.
You look at a guy in Congress that you really admire, who stands up and takes position, and you say, God, yeah, I like that guy. Well, he doesn't. You like him so much. It's that you respect the way he's going about things, the way he's conducting his business. There's a guy in the Congress that I really admire deeply. It's a guy named Trey Gowdy.
Yeah.
And I think Trey Gowdy is one of the most principled, straight up, no nonsense guys that I've ever seen. And the other thing is, I look at guys like that and I say, would I follow them?
Yeah.
If they were leading,
Yeah.
could they get me to follow their lead and do what they want? And if the answer is no, then you got no use for them.
Yeah. That's an interesting question. Yeah.
When I got out of the Navy, they had a Navy captain, which is one rank below admiral, interview myself, interview me, and 3 other young guys that were getting out that they wanted to keep. They had looked at our service records and what we'd done and service, evaluations, etc. So he got to me and he said, Mr. Strode, he said, I looked at your service record and your evaluations and stuff, and you're the kind of junior officer we'd like to keep in the Navy. Why are you getting out? This is the God's truth what I told him. I said, sir, I said, I've been on uh, 2 ships, 3 different commands, 2 years and 3 months active duty. And I said, I've met exactly one officer above the rank of Lieutenant JG, which you started ensign, Lieutenant JG, lieutenant. One officer above the rank of Lieutenant JG, which my comrades were, that I'd have a beer with and spend my own money to buy him a beer.
Mm.
I said, I don't want to be in an organization that I don't think any more of than that.
Lots of driftwood.
And he looked at me like I'd shot him with a stun gun.
Wow.
And he said, you know, I don't have a thing to say to that. He said, that is flat the best answer that anyone's ever given me. I said, well, I absolutely mean it. One guy, and that's 3 commanding officers, 3 executive officers, 10 or 12 department heads, one guy that I'd buy a beer with on my money and spend my time without being ordered to do so. And he, you know, that, I said, that ain't the kind of outfit I want to be in.
Yeah.
I want to
Yeah.
be in the one where the guy knocked my ass down when I was hitting 360, and then had the guts to tell me, you're going to get knocked down every fucking time I get 2 strikes on you.
Yeah. Right. There's more life to that.
So then what you learn as a hitter,
More
okay, he knocked me
progression.
down, now I get more aggressive, now I get tougher.
Yeah.
Instead of him scaring me off, he woke me up, and I'm going to be a harder out. I'm not going anywhere the next time. But I was 19, fresh out of high school, and I went to bed that night and thought, like Dorothy in Wizard of Oz, I said, boy, I'm not in Kansas anymore.
Yeah.
This is big time here.
Yeah.
We never played that way when I was in high school.
Yeah.
And they had a fight in the Red Sox Yankee game the other night. Same deal. There was a double play at second base, and the guy from the Yankees slid in with his shoe like this and hit the guy in the Red Sox in the shin. Guy in the second baseman took exception, and I would too, because you used to be taught to take the second baseman out. You slide with your foot back, not with your spikes out, because he hadn't got shin guards on to protect himself. So you slide with your foot back, and you kick him in the shin if you want, but you can't hurt him, because you're trying to turn him upside down. So they have a big to do at second base, jawing at each other. That guy that did the slide came up 2 innings later and got drilled right in the ribs. Charged him out, got 5-day suspension.
Right.
But the pitcher's taking care of his second baseman.
Yeah.
And it's the catcher's job to intercept the hitter before he gets to your pitcher anyway.
Yeah.
He's supposed to jump on him and tackle him before he can get out there.
Right. Right.
So it just, you know, and those are the rules that I've lived with my whole life.
It's good rules, man. Good principles.
And you may not be popular with a lot of people, but as long as you can look in the mirror and say, you know what, I treated him the way I wanted to be treated.
Yeah.
That's all you can do.
That's all you can do.
That's all you can do. I didn't cheat them. I didn't steal from them. I might have told them I thought they were assholes because they were. And sometimes you
okay. Here's another good question for you, Mike, that
Okay.
I'd love to hear your response
All right.
on. Speaking of cheating or screwing people over, whatever. Sometimes in life you encounter a situation where somebody is not being a good steward over resources. Maybe they have something special and they're not using it correctly
Good
or
steward
something.
meaning what?
They're not using something that's good that they have. Maybe they have an asset or a benefit or a resource or something and they're just not using it.
Okay.
What do you do if you know you could use that resource better than them, but you know if you take it from them, they're going to think that you stole it or you're a shitbag or something? What is the right way to go about that? It could be anything in life.
I would go confront them and question what they're doing with what they've got, whether it's intellectual property or money or.
Yeah, it could be. It could be
Who knows?
anything. Yeah,
Who knows?
I'm just being
And-
generic. So.
And then just say, well, I think I could do a better job. Do you want to cooperate or do you want to compete?
Yeah.
Now, you've stood up.
Yep.
You've been upfront.
Yeah.
You're not sneaking around behind them.
Right.
You told them what the deal is,
Right.
and now they have a choice.
Right.
They can listen to you. They could say, you know what, Jonathan's got some good ideas here. We could probably be better off together.
Yeah.
Or he tells you to pound sand, and you say, fine, I just thought you ought to know that I think that I can do a better job doing this
Yeah.
than you.
Yeah.
And I'm going to go ahead and take a shot at it.
All right. All right. At least it's respectable.
Exactly.
They might not like what you're planning or whatever, but
Absolutely, but you're up front.
yeah.
You're not sneaking back over here and not hiding in the closet, not stealing notes off his desk and stuff that,
Yeah.
people do
Yeah.
God knows how many times.
Right. Sneaky, weaselly shit.
Yeah, I mean, that's the reason I went to work at Colby Banker for one reason. I had been working for 4 years at Xerox
Mm-hmm.
as a Xerox salesman. But Xerox salesman had defined territories,
Mm-hmm.
and the guy that's managing could make you wealthy or hurt you depending upon the territory he gave you.
Right. Right. He could give you shit territory.
Exactly, correct. So, and then you had to come to sales meetings, and you had to do all of this ass kissing and whatever. Cole Baker, I heard about through a friend of mine who was working at IBM, who was making not quite twice as much money as I was at Xerox. He was at IBM, and he left.
Mm.
And I sat down. I said, "What? Are you crazy? You got a wife, 2 kids. You're making this much money?" Which in 1972 he was making. 1973, he was making $30,000 a year.
Mm.
I mean, that was
That's
a
pretty
fucking
good.
pot full of money in 1973.
Yeah.
I was making 18, and I thought I was flush.
Yeah.
So he leaves, and they said, because there's a guy down there I heard making $65,000 a year. I said, no kidding. Well, I went and did a little homework again. They had no sales meetings, they had no budgets, and no territories.
Mm.
They gave you a desk, and the only obligation you had is you had to produce, and they got half of everything you got. So if you made $1, they got 50 cents. You had to produce for the house at least $30,000 a year, which means I had to make $30,000 to keep my job,
Mm-hmm.
which was not twice what I was
What you're making
at
at
Xerox, and I was a hero.
And
at
they were
Xerox.
giving you all these other things at Xerox. They're giving you territory management and
And well,
meetings.
in a box, you couldn't cross the street, you couldn't call on this guy. And again, the manager didn't like you,
Right.
he sunk you.
Interesting.
And I went to Colby Banker, and they said, here's your desk. You'll work for a year as what they call a runner. You get $800 a month as a runner, and you do whatever the guy tells you. You're an indentured slave for a year.
Mm-hmm.
But that year was an education. It was like going to college.
Mm-hmm.
Because what I knew about real estate, I could spell it, and other than that, I didn't have a frickin' clue what it was or why anybody had anything to do with it.
Mm-hmm.
And at the end of the year, I was chomping at the bit to get out and get after it.
That's good.
But it,
Yeah.
it all
Yeah.
served me very well. And
Yeah.
with all due respect, I'm 75 years old, and in terms of what people would call a job at Facebook or Google or any of these places, I lived my whole life, I never had a job.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
I figured out a way to make money. I figured out a way to do it myself.
Yep.
I had, I'll tell you a story about the respect thing. I got a guy who is still a really good friend of mine. In fact, that book underneath that magazine, he was just here and gave me.
Oh, the Japanese writing?
Yeah,
Wow.
those are paintings he's made. He's painted since he's retired from Xerox or from Sanyo. But he was the head president of Sanyo North America, and he hired me to build buildings for him in New Jersey and Chicago and here or whatever. And I would get a fee, and I'd be a temporary employee during construction. Well, we ran into some snag on one project, and I don't remember which one it was. But he was up in Northern California. We got on the phone, and he accused me of being lazy.
Hmm.
And I jumped his ass. I said, fuck you. I said, nobody accuses me of being lazy because I'm not.
Mm-hmm.
This is a problem. We'll get through it. But it's nothing I can make happen any faster than it's happening. And I said, you take it back. Nobody in the whole world ever spoke to this guy that way.
Right.
He and I are friends like that to this day.
Hmm.
And that was in what was that? 88, 87, 30 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
He just was in town from Japan visiting his daughter who lives here. We went to lunch, brought the book out, gave me a book of his paintings.
That's amazing.
But
I like that story.
well, but it's true.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, if I was lazy, I knew
Yeah.
I'm being lazy,
Yeah.
and I shut my mouth up.
How does respect work with a? Let's say you have a situation where maybe there's a woman you like, but she's with another guy or something. How would you handle that in a respectful way? It's kind of back to that mismanaging of resource.
Well,
maybe
it depends.
maybe you have a
It depends on. Do I have a relationship with him?
I guess sure. Yeah. Let's say you do
No,
business
I mean,
with him.
no. If I have a relationship with him, she's off limits.
Off limits.
I made a decision, conscious decision, when I went to work at Xerox. And there's a gal that to this day, I wish I had thought differently. But I had a rule: I did not mess with a woman or date a woman with whom I worked.
Mm-hmm.
This was not doable.
Yeah.
And if I worked with you and she was dating you,
Nope.
that's off limits. She could come to me and quit you, but she had to do it.
Mm-hmm.
I was not going to get in and
Separate
wedge,
things.
no.
Because
No.
you never wanted a wedge to come get you later in life.
Well, again, it goes back to being respect and above board and being honest. Are you going to be able to go to him and say, hey, I'm after your girlfriend? No. You know that's not going to work. So are you going to sneak around and try to do something you wouldn't want done to you?
Mm.
I'd hope not.
Yeah. Yeah. No. I know.
If she breaks up with him because she likes you, that's her choice.
Right.
She did that on her own, and I had my hands clean.
Right.
And then you make a decision, well, do I want to lose this guy over this woman? Because that's probably the inevitable consequence.
Yeah.
That's a finished relationship at that point. Even though you had nothing to do with it,
Right.
to him, he's going to infer that you did.
Yeah. It's good to keep it clean and dry. I guess that's a good answer you gave
Well,
it. It's just how it is.
Just the way it's been with me all my life.
Yeah. Mm.
But I had a gal at Xerox that was
She
the
liked
best looking woman I ever saw in my life, and
She really liked you too.
yeah, we liked each other, and actually ended up about to have sex one night, and I stopped and I said, we go ahead and do this, our relationship changes from this point forward. I'm not sure we can be friends because you've stepped over the friendship line. And she said, you're right, we both stopped, and we've been friends for 50 years.
Would you ever wish you would have married her later or something?
Oh,
Or-
yeah.
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 I mean,
But at the time...
when you get near,
At the time, working...
I don't want to say you're near the end of your life, because you probably have, 15, 20 more years or
Who
so?
knows?
Who knows? But the point is you're older than you used to be when that happened, and
Yeah.
you have a different perspective.
No, I would have done it the same way over again.
Same way?
Yeah. Because we had to see each other in the office every day.
Sure.
And you get involved on the side.
Yeah, right. It could change so many things.
Oh,
So.
it could destroy...
Sometimes when you have sex with people too, they get angry at you or treat
Absolutely.
you.
And you got to come to work, and you got to be in an environment
Right.
that could lead to
Sure.
way more problems than it was worth to me. As long as I had my affairs and things outside the office, that and this were not this.
Right.
Kept them separate.
Do you feel like marriage and relationship with a woman changes fundamentally after a certain age, after 50 or 60 or 70? I've heard sex stops and you guys just start being friends, and it's more like
Well, if
through history, women usually go find a suitor or some younger.
If you're not friends at the get-go,
Yeah.
the other stuff eventually goes away.
Right.
And then you better be friends.
Right.
And if you have to wait till then to be friends, you got a problem because you won't be.
Yeah. That's a good way of saying it. If you got to wait that long to be friends, then you won't be because you got a problem.
You got to be friends on the get-go, right out of the box.
Yeah.
Be able to trust her, be able to tell her anything,
Sure.
everything.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, ask her opinion and stuff.
Yeah.
Should we do this? Should we do that?
Do you feel like having a mistress or a woman who's married having I don't know, what is it called when a boy toy or whatever?
Affair?
An affair. Does that happen more after 60 or
I have
70
no idea.
or?
I have no idea.
I don't either.
I have no idea. And again, it comes down to, you know, what do you think of yourself?
Yeah.
And what do other people think of you?
Yeah.
And is both of them important to you?
Yeah.
What you think of yourself and what other people think of you?
Yeah. Yeah. Very much. Integrity is important. It's hard for me to do anything without thinking.
I can't think of anything that's ahead of it.
Yep. To measure out how you want to measure back.
Hang on a second, we're going to show you the cats.
Sure.
It's probably